everyone. My name is Megan Kloft, and I am a graduate student at the University of Florida, taking the course Philosophies and Principles of Health Education, instructed by Dr. Holly Moses. In this presentation, I will share my personal philosophies of health education that I have come to realize during this course. I learned about 6 of the main predominant philosophies of health education, and I'm ready to share which of these I best align with. So let's begin. As we move forward in this brief presentation, here is a sequence of topics to expect. I will begin with the discussion of my personal beliefs on health and health education and how these terms intertwine with one another. I will share which philosophies I hold true to and why. I will provide a foundation to which these philosophies likely formed in my past experiences. Finally, I will discuss what roles I can contribute to in health education and how I will inspire others in the profession. Before diving into my beliefs on health and health education, let's start off with some definitions of each term. I have gathered generalized definitions of health and health education from the course that summarize the ideals founded from the World Health Organization and others in the profession of health. Health is recognized as a dynamic state or condition that is multidimensional, which includes physical, emotional, social, intellectual, spiritual, and occupational dimensions of health, as a resource for living and results from a person's interactions with and adaptation to the environment. Health is constantly changing with the new scientific findings, new illnesses and cures, and different views on health itself. Health education is defined as any combination of planned learning experiences using evidence-based practices and/or sound theories that provide the opportunity to acquire knowledge, attitudes, and skills needed to adopt and maintain healthy behaviors. Health education is not just learning experiences, but a path to motivating and encouraging others in a beneficial light. Now that we have a general idea of what health and health education are, here are my beliefs on the topic and how they connect to one another. Health education and promotion serves as a foundational block in the support of the dimensions of health. It keeps people informed about health information and new ways to promote higher individual health among communities. Without health education, the health status of individuals, communities, and populations may not see improvements, or they could potentially decline as health factors are always changing and being added to the world. Health education may affect health status of communities and populations drastically. Health education and health promotion are crucial in upholding and improving the health status of populations and communities through this need of current information in a changing world. As the world changes, we must change to keep up with our health and what impacts it. Without health education and promotion, the communication required to allow for better health practices and recommended healthy behaviors would ultimately contribute to lower health status of people and populations. Health is diverse. There are many different health practices among cultures, religions, and ethnicities. It is important to consider that health status can be viewed differently among individuals and cultures, but what is important is the general recognizability that there are healthy behaviors that can contribute to all views of health. If health education and promotion can encourage and motivate people to adapt these healthy and recommended behaviors, the quality of life and overall health status, along with wellness, will improve among many people. From what has been proven in the past, health education positively promotes and improves health among people. Moving forward from my beliefs on health and health education, I will provide an introduction of the 6 predominant philosophies of health education as included in this course. These predominant philosophies include behavior change philosophy, cognitive-based philosophy, decision-making philosophy, freeing or functioning philosophy, social change philosophy, and eclectic health education promotion philosophy. I will provide you all some brief descriptions of each philosophy before moving on, provided by this course's textbook, Principles and Foundations of Health Promotion and Education. The behavior change philosophy uses behavioral contracts, goal setting, and self-monitoring to try to foster a modification in an unhealthy habit in an individual with whom he or she is working with. Cognitive-based philosophy focuses on the acquisition of content and factual information. The goal of cognitive-based philosophy is to increase the knowledge of individuals and communities so that they are better prepared to make medical and health decisions about themselves. Decision-making philosophy is where health education specialists provide and present stimulated problems, case studies, or scenarios to students or clients that require decisions to be made in seeking a best approach or answer. You could see this kind of sounds like cognitive based, but cognitive is just supplying information to increase the ability to make decisions, where decision-making philosophy is presenting situations where a decision should be made. Freeing or functioning philosophy has the ultimate goal of freeing people to make the best health decisions possible based on their needs and their interest, not necessarily the interest of society. Social change philosophy emphasizes the role of health education specialists in creating social, political, and economic changes that benefit the health of individuals, communities, and populations. Finally, the eclectic health education promotion philosophy is a philosophy in which the health educator will choose any method that best fits the situation. In many cases, the philosophical approach used changes depending on the setting, such as school, community, worksite, or medical setting. Through this course, I have found to best align with 2 of the predominant philosophies of health education. The first of these 2 philosophies is the freeing or functioning philosophy. I recognize the differences in individual interpretations, measures, and definitions of health and health goals, along with the different applications health education and promotion can have in the lives of individuals. With such differing views of health, I believe that health decisions are widely impacted by the health needs and interests of people, rather than those of society. There is no set answer that society can have when it comes to an individual and their own health. Therefore, I feel that in this philosophy, I find it important to influence people at the individual level, not society's level. Not only this, but it is beneficial for the educator and the patient or client to feel in control of their health by focusing on what is important to them. The second philosophy that I have found to align with is cognitive-based philosophy, due to my high regard of sharing pertinent and current health information as an effective means to encouraging healthy behaviors and informed decision-making among communities. I would even like to include that I most align with this philosophy out of the 2 that I have identified. Cognitive-based philosophy is founded on the idea of providing factual health information to promote informed decision-making. It has the belief that increasing the knowledge that people have about health will increase healthy behavior adaptation. I fully agree with these principles and feel it best to utilize education and informed decision making. Knowing and understanding information about health increases health literacy and health communication between physicians or providers and the patient or client. This can have a huge impact on making decisions about your health, and especially how you respond to health. For instance, having been educated on a health condition and the proper techniques or protocols of treatment for the condition, we can be assured or more confident that the health condition will be managed effectively. As people learn more regarding health topics and health information, they will become more likely to adapt healthy behaviors that promote personal health and wellness. If more people are informed and educated about health, this will promote health status not just for individuals, but for entire communities as well. Moving on from identifying my personal philosophies of health, I'd like to take a time back to my past experiences of what developed me into these philosophies and how I entered the field of health education. So in 2015, I was actually a student in the Allied Health Assisting class in my high school. It was my senior year, and this was when I was really first introduced to learning more about in-depth anatomy, physiology, and also I learned skills similar to that of a certified nursing assistant and was able to work hands-on in a nursing home and different areas of a hospital. So that was my first introduction into health and really learning about it. And what I noticed is as I learned that initial information, I grew myself into living healthier habits. Didn't quite realize it at the time, but I do now. Moving on from that, the next year in 2016, I began my first year as an undergraduate student at the University of Florida under the major of pre-nursing. In this, I had an even deeper education on physiology, anatomy, nutrition, statistics, and just more in-depth health concepts. And through this, I really started to change and notice what I was eating and the behaviors of people around me that I knew, and started kind of telling them what I was learning. And it was just very interesting to see how, as you're educated, things change. So after 2 years in the pre-nursing track, I actually transferred to the College of Health and Human Performance at UF in 2018. And this is where I decided to go the route of health education. So I entered the major and I just learned so much in the field, and everything kind of came together. So through this, I ended up earning my Bachelor of Science in Health Education in 2020 and started the graduate program for health education in August of 2020. So through all of my time in the College of Health and Human Performance, learning about health education, I really developed a sense of what I felt would reach people more and what could be more effective. So starting from high school all up until the bachelor's degree, I was really developing who I was in this field and my views on it and exactly what I felt would be effective, and molded who I am and what you're viewing in this presentation now. Moving forward from my history and past experiences that influenced my development of philosophies in health education, I would like to introduce the roles that I could have in health education. Health education specialists have numerous important roles in the health of communities and populations. My roles in this field pertain to educating others on current and new health information, serving communities, and encouraging healthy behaviors in those that I can reach. I seek a career in nursing and medical missions in least developed countries. I intend to bring health information and programs to other communities that may not have access to high-quality healthcare. In this, I would share current and factual health information that is need-based and upholds the interests of the communities that I am helping. I would also be able to teach health skills most beneficial to the communities I am aiding. Such health skills could include CPR, recognizing stroke, or proper hand washing techniques could be a big one for LDCs, as well as hygiene care. Not only this, but I wish to help hands-on in the healing of these communities. This goes into the service role that I would play. As I seek a career in nursing, I would have the medium to share health information and serve as a partner in health communication campaigns while providing care to people. This would be a good use of utilizing new situations to educate others while dedicating time to serving others. I would be in a position conducive to inspiring others to follow healthy behaviors and to motivate others to act in ways that will improve their quality of life. This goes into the encouragement role that I could play. I would be able to show the benefits of recommended healthy behaviors, and I would also have to pay mind to be open-minded to how other people in these communities may feel and develop and create compromising behaviors that's conducive to their situation and improving health. From my perspective, a nurse and a health educator both share the role of educating people on health practices and information. Having this background in health education will also strengthen my communication skills of health information with these communities as I'm capable of matching their health literacy levels and considering the cultural diversities that will be at play. In concluding this presentation, I would like to share this short quote with you all. A man by the name Arthur Ashe once said, "Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can." I felt this connected to health and health philosophies because it is encouraging in saying that there is always a time for change. No matter your background in health, you can always start to learn and become educated about more health topics and information. There is so much information that even experts should continually strive to continue learning. Every community has different resources available, and we should encourage others as well as ourselves to seek out these educational tools. The last bit, which says do what you can, reminds me that those we are educating should never be discouraged, and we should always motivate them in knowing that the decisions they make will matter and that they can have more control on their health by the decisions and behaviors that they choose to make and adapt. Thank you for taking the time to allow me to share my professional philosophy of health with you all. This has been an interesting semester for me, and I have learned a lot more about myself in this course. I appreciate the materials and lessons I've learned in this course, and especially Dr. Holly Moses for giving me the opportunity to learn so much. Have a great day, y'all.